Hey friends, Miss Rosenfield here again. We're going to talk about how to get started on your cover letter today. So go back to Word Online if you haven't already, and then click on More Templates. And if you scroll all the way down, and you can look at even more templates. And then what I would do is click Browse by Category and scroll down to Resumes and Cover Letters. So you should definitely make sure that your resume and cover letter look similar. That if you chose like a really colorful resume, say this one that has the teal and the black style, then make sure you choose this one that goes with it, with the teal. There are lots of options here for you to choose from. Just looking to see like these ones that they match so that an employer or whoever is looking at your resume and cover letter know that they go together, and that makes you look really organized and professional and put together. So, okay, I am just looking at these different cover letters. This looks like the one that I chose to write my resume. So I'm going to click on that one. I think it's called the modern one. And then it'll give me the template to fill out. And you can look back at the slideshow that I've posted on our lesson 13 assignment page, which is about writing your cover letter. And I will talk a little bit about it here, but that slideshow has a lot more information in it, just so you know. So, okay, you are basically just going to fill out the various parts of the cover letter with your own information. So you would write your name here, first name and last name. So this looks basically the same as your resume at the very beginning, so that it's obvious that it's you. You don't ever want to leave the employer wondering whose resume or cover letter they're looking at. I'm going to bring the size down here because my name is long. And then this is the position that you're hoping to fill. So your job objective. All right. Now, when you get down to the body of the letter, there are several things you want to include as a header. The first thing is your own information. So where it says contact, that's you. So your address, your phone number, your email. Remember that you need to have a professional email. So if you haven't already set up one that's just your name or your name with periods in between, then please do that now. Lots of people get rejected because they don't have professional emails. The next part of the heading is who you are addressing this letter to. So the recipient name is probably like the hiring manager. If you can find their name by looking at a website or at a job description, that's the best thing. So the more specific you can be about who your cover letter is going to, the more likely to be successful you are. If you can't find that information out by looking online or calling the employer, then you can just write hiring manager. And then that would be the title if you don't already know their name. Otherwise, their name would go right above that. Put that here, name of hiring manager, if you know it, and try your best to find that. Then the company is where you're looking to be employed and their address. So you'll fill that all out depending on what job it is that you're trying to get. Okay, then when you start your letter, this is another reason it's important to know who you're addressing it to, is dear and their name is a lot more impactful than to whom it may concern, which is not as specific, doesn't grab people's attentions. So you might say, dear hiring manager, or to whom it may concern. Those are not your best options. So the best thing to do is to find an actual name here. Just like I was saying for the header on the left-hand side. Okay, and then in the body of your cover letter, remember when we were talking about this slideshow and what you want to put in the body? So you're hoping for 3 paragraphs, more or less. And if you don't have that much to say, you can pare it down. Don't fill it with empty words. But typically, it looks best if you have some substance. There's something that you're trying to say. So the first thing you want to do is get their attention, hook them. What can you say about yourself that makes you sound like a qualified candidate? And in that first paragraph, you also want to say what job you're applying for. So, what are you applying for? Why are you interested in this position? And then if you know anyone who works there, if anyone recommended you, if there's some previous reason that you want to work there, like you've been there a lot and you like the company, then that's what you'll write in the first paragraph. So I'm gonna copy and paste this in. First paragraph. Now this template has it kind of, oops, gonna undo that. Just kidding, that looks terrible. This first paragraph here in the template has you using bullet points, and you can do that too if you prefer. I prefer to leave bullet points off of my cover letter because my resume is full of bullet points. So here I want to write in full sentences to kind of show that I can be conversational and write well, not just with bullet points. So talking about the job you want, any previous contact with that employer, and the reason you want the job. All right, then you want to leave a blank space before your next paragraph, and you don't indent. So normally if we were writing a narrative, we would indent here. You don't want to do that in a cover letter. Everything stays flush with the left side. So if we're looking at our second paragraph, and maybe your third one if you're writing a third one, this is where you talk about the skills that you have that make you a qualified employee. So what are you good at? What have you done in the past that would help you be proficient at this job? And can you give specific examples about that? So let me highlight this. What are your skills pertaining to the job? You would actually answer that there. What can you offer the employer as far as why they should hire you above anyone else? And if you have space here, you might have a third paragraph. And like I was saying before, if you have enough to say, then this might include specific examples. So what have you done in the past that prepared you for this job? And that's where to write that. So these should all be in full sentences with one space in between paragraphs like this. This doesn't look great because they're in different size fonts, but everything will be the same size font and all the way to the left side. Then you want to close with something very polite. Thank you for your consideration, or thank you for taking your time. Sincerely, best regards, looking forward to hearing from you, and then your name. And then the enclosure is, you might say, please find attached resume and references. If you're including your resume with your cover letter, which you almost always will be. So that's more or less what your cover letter should look like. It will probably be pretty short because you are pretty young in your career, but you'll continue adding to it as you go forward. You need to write a fresh cover letter every time you're applying for a different job. But if you've written a lot before, you can kind of take pieces here and there from different versions of it so that you don't have to start totally from scratch. So that's how to get started on your cover letter. Let me know if you have questions.